Hey guys, welcome to yoga class. Let's start out in an easy seat, letting our hands rest down on our thighs or on our knees. Let your shoulders start to move down your back, eyes closed. And let's just take a moment here to breathe nice and deep, lifting your chest as you inhale, letting your shoulders relax a little more each time you exhale. Maybe think about some things that you're grateful for as you breathe. And now just let your head take a few circles, nice and slow. Let's go in each direction a few times. Still breathing in and out really deeply as you circle your head around. And now let's bring the head back to center and start to drop one ear down toward your shoulder, nice and slow. Try not to lean to one side. Try to keep your torso still and just move your head. It can help to have your fingertips on your shoulders. Just enough so that you feel a stretch in the side of your neck. Take another round of breath here. And then use an inhale, an in-breath to come back to center and exhale on over to the other side. Feel free to move your chin around to kind of change that stretch in the side of your neck and get it right where you want it to be. All right, let's come back to center. Give your wrists a nice little shake just to get them ready for some down dogs and some planks. And then cup your knees with your palms. You can sit crisscross applesauce, or you can have one leg in front of the other and just start to circle your whole torso around, just like you did with your head. So this time you're keeping your hips, your lower body, your legs still, and just allowing your torso to move around. So try not to rock so that your hips lift up. Try to keep your hips weighted down and just find this movement in the top of your body. See how far you can go in each direction. And try to go both ways. And this should feel pretty good. All right. So after you've gone both ways, a somewhat even number of times, just take it back to center and let's straighten our legs out. Try to flex your feet so your toes are pulling back toward you. Take a big inhale to lift your chest. Then as you breathe out, bend your knees. Try to take your chest to the tops of your thighs. Your gaze is at the tops of your feet or your ankles, so the back of your neck stays nice and long. If it feels okay to start to straighten the legs, you can. I like to have my hands on the backs of my thighs here so you can kind of gauge how tense those muscles are. If you feel some tension back here in your hamstrings, keep your knees bent. You can even bend them more if you need to as you reach your chest forward. Let's take 3 more rounds of breath here. Feel free to kind of grab your calves, massage your hamstrings a little bit, or you can also hold your feet here. 1 more round of breath. Inhale and roll up nice and slowly. Swing your feet around behind you and let's make our way into the all fours. So make sure that you've got a nice straight line from your shoulder down to your wrist and from your hips down to your knees. Inhale and lift your head, lift your tail, pull your chest forward, and then exhale to round your spine. Move with your breath. Just take it nice and slow. You can close your eyes if you want to. Next time that you inhale, curl your toes under, and then as you exhale, push your hips up and back. And let's find our first down dog. So really spread your fingers nice and wide. Lift and lower your heels a few times. You can really bend your knees deeply here if you want to. Make some movements, maybe circle around here in down dog, anything that feels good to you. Eventually, after you get all the wiggles out, come to stillness. Try to line your ears up with your arms. And now using your core, these muscles in your low belly, pour your weight into your hands and start to walk your feet forward nice and slowly. Almost like you could tip over as you come toward your wrist. And feet plant, inhale and roll all the way up. Take your arms out and up, look up. As you exhale, bring your hands down to your chest. So take a moment here in Tadasana, mountain pose. Start to rock from your toes, lifting your heels, and then back into your heels. So you're coming up and then going back, coming up, going back. You can have your arms out to help you balance here if it helps. This is a nice way to stretch your feet and kind of play with your balance at the same time. So this can get tiring after a while. Let your heels come on down. And then with your feet planted, inhale the arms up. Exhale, fold out and over your legs. Bend your knees on the way down. Look back and then inhale, lengthen out your spine. Look forward. As you exhale, plant your hands, step your feet back to plank pose. And let's try to hold it here in plank. Try to press back through your heels, really grip through all your fingertips. Try to push your back up toward the ceiling as you press back with your heels. So you've got this really strong, stable shape. Shoulders back from your ears. Imagine sending your shoulders to your feet. One more inhale. As you exhale, let your knees come down. Start to bend your elbows. Reach forward and hug your elbows in as you lower your chest. And then inhale, bring the tops of your feet down. Lift your chest. Keep pulling the shoulders back. Hug your elbows in. We're doing this first sun salutation really slowly, which makes it a little bit harder. So take one more inhale. And then as you exhale, back to down dog we go. You can move through the all fours, then send your hips up and back. Take 3 nice long rounds of breath here in down dog. Let's start to make our way forward once more. Bring your feet forward. Inhale, roll all the way up, arms out and up, look up, hands come together at your heart. Let's take another sun salutation. This time we're going to do it with the breath, so quite a bit faster. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, lengthen your spine, halfway lift. As you exhale, back to plank we go, and lower down. Still exhaling, hug the elbows in. Inhale to lift the chest, pull your shoulders down away from your ears, and then exhale the hips up and back. Take 3 rounds of breath here in down dog. You can always let your knees come down, take a little break here if you want. When you're ready, start to bring your feet forward between your hands. Inhale all the way up. This is our last sun salutation. Exhale your hands together at your heart. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold out and over. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, step, or if you want, you can hop back and bend the elbows, lower down. Inhale, lift the chest, shoulders back. Exhale, hips up and back. Down dog. Take a nice big inhale. And then exhale, the knees down, nice and wide. Sink your hips back to your heels and let your head rest down on the mat. So take a few rounds of breath in child's pose. If you want, you can bend your elbows like this and just let your head hang. Or you can keep your arms out, maybe be on your fingertips with your forehead down. Wherever you are, take a few more rounds of breath here. Try to close your eyes. Let everything soften and relax just a little bit. Let your breath steady itself. From child's pose, let's make our way into a squat. So come onto the balls of your feet. You can have, come a little bit closer, you can have your knees quite wide here. Just kind of perch on the balls of your feet. Bring your hands together. Try to bring your elbows inside of your legs and then pressing your palms together. Let your elbows push your legs farther apart. This is super uncomfortable, you're not feeling quite balanced, you can have your hands down here and get the same stretch. It might allow you to take your knees a bit wider as well. Breathe here. Try to sit as tall as you can. So if you've got your fingers down, try to be somewhere around here. If you've got your hands together, try to start lifting your elbows away from your thighs. See if you can stack your shoulders over your hips. Don't be afraid to take a hand down if you get wobbly. All right, let's move into our arm balance. So crow pose. We've worked with this pose a lot. As always, if you want to have a pillow or a blanket, you can place it right here, and that will help cushion your head in the case that you take a little tumble. So, you want to have a blanket, have your blanket here. When you plant your hands, make sure that your fingers are spread nice and wide and your hands are shoulder distance. Then start to bend your elbows. We're going to start by scooping our knees up with the backs of our arms. So you've got your knees outside your arms, hug your elbows in and start to lean forward. You may stop here, you may lift one foot and then the other, keeping one big toe down for balance. And then when you're ready, you can lift both feet and try to squeeze your big toes together. If you feel yourself losing your balance and you've got a blanket here, you can just come onto your blanket, or you can always come back onto your toes. Another good way to kind of fall out of this pose is to go to the side. So one of the most important things to remember in these balancing poses is not just how to stay in the pose, but how to fall out of it without hurting yourself too much. So blankets help, and then trying to remember to fall to the side. Give your wrist a little bit of love. Maybe take the backs of your hands together and make some circles here. Good. So let's try another variation of crow with our knees on the backs of our arms. Something we've done a number of times, but muscle memory is a big part of this pose. So the more you do it, the more you practice it, the easier it will feel and the more natural it'll feel in your body. So we're gonna come into it from a little bit higher. Instead of coming up into the pose, we're gonna drop down into it. So the knees, instead of going to the outsides of the arms, are gonna go on the backs of the arms like this. You can think of trying to curl your body into this tight little ball. And the tighter and the more compact you can make yourself, the easier it is for you to hold this balance. So with your knees on the backs of your arms, try to hug your elbows in, pour your weight into your hands, and then when you're comfortable, again, you can lift one foot at a time. And then when you're ready, try to squeeze your big toes together. And here is your crow pose, or if you want to start to play with straightening the arms, this is your crane pose. And this pose can be a lot of fun. It's difficult at first, but it becomes much easier over time. And it has a nice sense of playfulness about it. So give your wrists a little more love. If you've got a blanket, you can take your blanket or your mat, take your knees into the palms of your hands or the backs of your hands down, and just let the weight of your body pour down through your knees into your palms. Try to circle your knees around. So you're using your kneecaps to massage the palms of your hands, your wrists, the base of each of your thumbs. Once your wrists feel a little bit better, you can take your knees out of your wrists, out of the palms of your hands. Come to sit on your heels. Take the backs of your hands down. Try to relax your shoulders. Move anything that's in your way out of your way. Take a few rounds of deep, deep breath here. Inhaling to lift the chest, and then exhaling to send the shoulder blades down the back. Inhale the arms up over the head, and exhale, start to fold forward. Use your core to control your descent as you come down. Then let your hands come down. Walk your hands forward. So this is a closed-kneed child's pose. Relax your head. Let your fingertips grip the floor, grip your mat so that your elbows, your forearms, your palms lift away from the mat. Then relax your head down. Now start to walk your hands all the way over to one side. You can take your chest with you, so your knees still point forward, but your hands and your torso are going out to the side. You're getting a big stretch in your side body, just like you found in your neck earlier. Now inhaling, come back through center. And as you exhale, head on over to the other side. Try to relax your neck, let your head just kind of hang here. Your forehead may even rest down on the mat. And now come back to center. Tuck your chin. Use an inhale to roll up nice and slowly. Letting your head lift. And from here, let's find an easy seat. So either crisscross applesauce, maybe with one foot in your hip crease, if that feels okay. Take a few deep rounds of breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Feeling your breath get slower. We're going to do one more nice big stretch. This will target your legs, the backs of your legs, and your hip as well. So if you don't already have your foot in your hip crease, go ahead and take your foot to your hip crease. We will do both sides, so whichever side you want to start on is fine. If you want to have your foot a little bit closer to your knee, you can have your ankle on the top of your thigh like this. And if your legs and your hips are really tight, you may want to have a blanket under that hip. So this is a good modification for this pose. If it feels okay to have your foot way up here in your hip crease, you can be here. Again, don't be afraid to use a blanket, a book, whatever you have for some support here. And then when you're ready, inhale the arms up. As you exhale, just let your hands come down, let your chest come forward. Walk your hands forward. You can bend this knee as much as you need to. Third option for the blanket is to have it under, oh yeah, that feels good, under your bottom leg. So you'll feel this stretch in the hamstrings of that bottom leg and the hip of the leg that has the bent knee. Try to relax your head here. Feel free to grab your foot, hold your leg or your ankle, whatever feels good to you, whatever good option you find for your hands. There's not a right and a wrong, there's just what feels good to you. Try to keep your toes pulling back toward yourself in this fold. So you want that bottom foot to be nice and flexed. See if you can spread your toes out nice and wide. We'll be here for 5 more rounds of breath. Option if you want to walk your hands from side to side and find some movement in this forward fold. Feel free to kind of walk your hands around, just exploring the space around you, exploring how that changes the stretch and how it feels in your body. So if you're not in center, if you're off to the side somewhere, come on back to center. And then on your next inhale, roll up, take your arms up, and as you exhale, twist toward your bent knee. Taking that outside hand across. And then looking back over your shoulder like this. You can have your back hand down for support like this, or you can flip the back of that hand, take it to your low back, and try to pull your elbow back as you twist. One more big round of breath here. Inhale your way back to center, shake it out, and let's switch sides. So as we switch sides, slide your legs out, give yourself a little jiggling here, maybe grab your hamstrings or your calves like we talked about at the very beginning of this practice. If it feels good, go for it, and then switch sides. So your other foot is gonna come maybe at sort of more of a 90-degree angle, maybe more at like this 45-degree angle with your foot up in your hip. You may notice that one side is tighter than the other. So this may be your tighter side, this is definitely my tighter side, or this may be the side that feels a little bit easier to get along with. So just notice how everything feels, and then once you're ready, inhale your arms up, and exhale your way on into this side. You may fold a little deeper than you did on the first side. You may, like me, find that you're a little more restricted on this side. So just see where you are and take it from there. Don't try to force yourself to go too deeply into the fold. Just take your time. You may soften as we stay here and breathe. Try to keep your shoulders moving down away from your ears. Close your eyes if you feel comfortable. last few rounds of breath, feel free to walk your hands from side to side. See how it feels. Or you can hold stillness in the pose and just stay in center. Yoga is all about what feels good in your body. Alright, so let's come on back to center if you're not already there. And then tuck your chin, roll up on an inhale, sweep your arms up. And as you exhale, twist toward your bent knee. So twisting to the opposite side, try to look back over your shoulder. Big deep breaths. This back hand, swing myself around. This back hand can stay down for support, or you can lift it up, there it is, and take the back of your hand to your low back. One more big round of breath here. And then come on back to center. Slide both legs out. Kind of jiggle your legs. And from here, we are going to come onto our back. So bending your knees, come onto your back. Slide your legs out. Let your feet just drop open. Arms down by your sides, let your palms face the ceiling. Let your fingertips just start to curl in toward your wrist. Take some nice long rounds of breath here. Just letting your body be heavy on the mat or on the floor. Letting your head be heavy. Try to relax your jaw. Relax the skin around your eyes, around your mouth. Take 5 more long rounds of breath here. You can relax a little more with each exhale, each out breath. Now slowly begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Circle your wrists and your ankles. Pull your knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice big stretch. Take your feet up toward the ceiling. And then roll to your favorite side. Take a nice long breath there. Still just letting your body be heavy. Hang on to that sense of heaviness as you slowly roll to one side. Push your way up. Come back to seated. Bring your hands together at your heart. Palms together. Relax your shoulders down away from your ears. Reach up through the crown of your head. Lift your chest as you inhale. Send your shoulder blades down your back as you exhale. Notice how you feel. One more nice long round of breath, exhaling out any tension that may still be in your body, in your mind. And thank you all for coming to yoga today and practicing with me. Namaste.